Hello and welcome to my channel. The 6 options for this reading are Snapdragon, Phlox, Tuberose, Iris, Dahlia, and Hydrangea. I'm going to begin now with option 1. Hello, option 1. You chose Snapdragon, graciousness and benevolence. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. The other cards here are the Hanged Man, the Page of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. And in this Hanged Man card, the male fairy is hanging upside down, and he is surrounded by a bunch of other fairies, most of them female, a few of which are naked, so I had to place some charms over them. And there are 2 other fairies that are dressed, that are female, and one of them is near his mouth, and it looks like he tried to kiss her, but she put her hand over his mouth so that he could not. And with this unicorn charm and this other charm where one heart is upright and the other is reversed, it makes me think that someone has a crush on you, and there's a lot of other people who have a crush on the person who has a crush on you, and you're not particularly interested in that person. Now, the Page of Swords is a card that usually indicates some kind of communication, but it also indicates spying online to a lot of people. And with these birds all flying around this female fairy, who's not really paying any attention to them. She's just focused on the little gosling or little cygnet that she has in her lap. Looks like she's just minding her business. With the lotus flower right next to you, this looks like you're glowing up. You've been through some muck, and now you're blooming. And people can see this. And it's attracting a lot of attention, and probably a lot of masculine attention if you're feminine, especially. And I'm getting the impression that people are getting jealous. And with this elephant charm, it reminds me of Ganesh and the good fortune that he is said to bring. So you're probably doing really well. And this Eight of Wands, usually a lot of fast-moving communication involved with that. There's a big old heart charm that fell on it, and there's a lot of dandelions being blown around, which usually indicates wishes. So people are probably assuming that all your wishes are coming true, and you're getting a lot of messages and communications from people, and everything's going great. And it's probably making some of them salty, especially if they want a particular person and that particular person wants you. And this Seven of Pentacles, this fairy is harvesting fruit and just minding her business, tending to her garden. And I think that's kind of what you need to be doing too. Just do your best to ignore these people that are trying to mess with you. And this little dragon up at the top, watching her work, I think that's like a little spirit guardian. So connect to your spirit team, your guardians. Maybe do some kind of work with cleansing, protect yourself against evil eye, stuff like that. But other than that, just try to stay high vibe and tend to you and do what you do. Because you seem to be doing quite well for yourself. But that's why people are trying to create drama, because they wish they could be you. Alright, I think that's all for option 1. I'm going to move on now to option 2. Hello, option 2. You chose flocks, unanimity, and harmony. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. The other cards here are the Hermit, the Queen of Pentacles, the Star, the Tower, and the Queen of Swords. And with this Hermit card and the Dragonfly, it makes me think that you have pulled back from people to work on yourself. And with the Queen of Pentacles and these flowers, I'd say you've also been working on your physical material abundance. And because you've been working on yourself, you've made a lot of realizations and you're shining like a star now. You've been probably doing some kind of spiritual practices or doing other things to cultivate yourself. You are standing out now, you're blooming. And with these fishes in the star card, I'd say you're also experiencing more financial abundance and other kinds of abundance. And that has caused a tower moment for a lot of people. It's quite likely that you have pulled back your energy from these people, and some of them are salty because they're not getting things from you, that they used to get with this Queen of Swords card. It looks like you may have set some boundaries with some people who may have been draining you. And then there's another set of people who have watched your transformation and it shook them up. And it was about time that these people experienced this wake-up call. And some of them are inspired. But other people are upset because you just lit a fire under their butt when they just wanted to be complacent and complain about their circumstances instead of improving themselves. You took their excuses away. Because they just saw you rise and do better. Now, with this word gentle on the Queen of Swords, it makes me think that you need to be gentle with yourself and not feel guilty for pulling back from people so that you could do better for yourself. And also be gentle with yourself when they try to tell you that you've been mean to them because you're not giving them all this and all that and whatever. Don't feel guilty for taking care of yourself. And another thing is that some of these people that you may have pulled back from may not have had bad intentions. And so try to be understanding, but at the same time, keep your boundaries firm. All right, I think that's all for option 2. I'm going to move on now to option 3. Hello, option 3. You chose Tuberose, Dangerous Pleasure. The secret of reaping the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment from life is to live dangerously. The other cards here are the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Hermit. Well, in this Nine of Swords here, we have a bunch of crows and ravens that are circling around in this tunnel of light. And this person's looking up, and this is a card of being worried. And a lot of chaotic thinking, things of that nature. Well, crows and ravens are often associated with communications from spirit. And so I think that spirit is trying to call your attention to something. And that's why this drama has become more obvious to you. And why it weighs more heavily on your mind. And with this living dangerously one card right here, I think that you've been causing a lot of the drama. And with this Queen of Pentacles, we have a perfume bottle, we have sassy, we have a cat, and we also have a Queen of Swords, which tends to be more intellectual and sometimes cold kind of energy, with a true love and a heart that is upright and a heart that is reversed, which would indicate maybe you have a tendency to flip-flop in love, maybe be a little flighty with these butterflies. And with this Hermit card at the end, with a star and a tree charm, those are making me think that perhaps you need to do some reflection and some kind of spiritual growth. I think a lot of the drama is coming to you because you have chaotic energy or causing some kind of drama for yourself. And you may not see this, which may be why Spirit's trying to get your attention. You may not see how the things that you may be doing or thinking may be contributing to the drama around you. Okay. I think that's all for option 3. I'm going to move on now to option 4. Hello, option 4. You chose Iris. Rainbows and messages. When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. And the other cards here are the Hermit, the Eight of Swords, Justice, and the Knight of Swords. And with this Hermit card and the Eight of Swords, I think someone has made you feel isolated. And with this looming figure in the Eight of Swords, I think it's probably a masculine, especially with this dad charm being reversed. I think it came out reversed because someone is being authoritative or acting almost like a father figure, or actually is a father figure, who is behaving in a very negative way that is the opposite of the way a masculine authority figure should be behaving. And I get the impression with this swan being tangled in these thorn vines that you feel well and truly trapped. And it definitely looks that way on the surface. And the reason for the drama is because this is what this... I'm trying to find nice words. Yeah, this is a piece of... This person's a piece of shit. And this person does this crap for sport. They create drama, try and control people, quite likely a narcissist. And in this situation, you're bound up by, like, with this butterfly that's encased in a circle, this swan that's surrounded by thorns. But with this Justice card and this horn and this rabbit who look like they're running, I think you're going to be able to find a way out of the situation. I think there's going to be new growth, as indicated by the leaf. I think... See, I'm seeing a little hummingbird in the Eight of Swords and also in the Knight of Swords. And that makes me think that you need to remove yourself from the situation a little differently. The hummingbird is the only bird that can fly backwards. And so I think this is saying that you're going to have to find a way to back out of the situation as best you can. And you can't take a lot of the stuff with you. You can't remain as large as this swan here. You're going to have to shed whatever you can so that you can be the smaller thing that can slip right through these vines and brambles and get away from this person. You may have to leave a lot of material things behind, but I think it looks like it'll be worth it. And not to lose hope. this can be resolved, but man, this sucks. Hummingbirds are also exceptionally brave little things. And so I think this situation is calling for you to be brave, maintain hope, and as soon as the opportunity presents itself, sneak away as fast as you can. All right. I think that's all for option 4. I'm going to move on now to option 5. Hello, option 5. You chose Dahlia, dignity. A wise man has dignity without pride. A fool has pride without dignity. The other cards here are the 4 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, the 2 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords. And it looks to me, with this 4 of Pentacles with the little rocking horse and the turtle on it, that someone is holding on to either childhood friends or childish behavior or childhood friends that display childish behavior. And that may be the reason you're having to deal with drama. The second card, the 3 of Pentacles, has the word with right next to a charm that I associate with peacocks and being overly showy and dramatic, showing off. And 3 of Pentacles is about collaborations, who we hang out with, who we work with. So I think you're having to deal with a lot of childish and immature behavior. And some of you may also be demonstrating some of that yourself. But mostly I think it's the people around you. And with the 2 of Wands, with this little deer charm, I think you need to make some plans to get away from these people, but to try to do it in a gentle way. There's no need to be mean about it. But with this 8 of Swords and this heart and this owl with the wisdom represented by that, it's going to be wiser and better for you to untangle yourself from these people as best you can. With this figure looming over, it looks very unfriendly. I would say try not to turn your back on them too harshly, too quickly. Once again, you don't need to be hurtful or mean, but you just need to find better people to hang out with, so you'll have less drama in your life and be able to have and do better. It's quite likely that when you do that and you try to better yourself, that they will naturally fall out of alignment with you, and you won't have to do a lot to get them away from you. They'll remove themselves. They'll want to hang out with you less, spend less time with you when they do hang out with you, and it'll just be better that way. But continuing to make these people a priority will probably leave you stuck and continue to cause more drama for you. Okay, I think that's all for option 5. I'm going to move on now to option 6. Hello, option 6. You chose hydrangea. Thankfulness and understanding. Before we can forgive another, we have to understand one another. The other cards here are the Page of Swords, Strength, the Knight of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. And this Page of Swords is often indicative of someone who's a student, someone who's just starting out in something, and it can also indicate people spying on a person online, watching them and what they're doing. And with this fox and this tree, I think you're trying to be strategic about growing something. The other card, the Strength, you have a dragonfly, which is about transformation, and you have fun. And I don't think this is actually about actual fun. I think this is people making fun of what you're trying to do. And I think it's because they don't understand it. They do not see the vision that you see. And in the Knight of Swords, with this cross and this flower, I see you moving towards something that you have a lot of faith in, that you think you can grow. And then the Six of Pentacles, with this little crown and these coins and this plant growing, I think that if you keep pouring into this, you can really achieve something awesome. But in the meantime, the people who are watching are going to make fun because they don't see the vision. They don't understand. And when I was laying these cards out, the thought came to mind of the expression, "He who laughs last laughs best." And when they see the results of what you're doing, you're going to have the last laugh. So you keep pouring into what you're doing. Keep having faith. Keep going. And unless it's something that involves social media where you're putting yourself out there a lot, don't announce too much stuff to these other people. They're not going to get it. Just, instead of telling people, show them. You keep building, and then show them what you're really capable of. Okay, I think that's it for option 6. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye for now.